Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Stone Genius Podcast. My name is Ro. You know me as the Stone Genius. I'm often stoned. I'm always a genius. So here's the deal right now. I feel fine-ish. Not Finnish. I believe that would be like feeling like someone from Finland. So I don't feel like that. I feel good. Let's just put it that way. I am very excited for the strain that I'm using right now. That was an abrupt end, but I like it. I like it a lot. I will tell you, this is the third attempt at this. The first attempt, I was trying to do video. It took me a whole... Here's the deal. So on the ones that I've done video for, and the way you would know that is the short video clips. If there's someone that I've put short video clips out for on Instagram, then you know that I actually recorded the whole show, pared those down, because that's really what I just wanted it so I could send out social media. So that's where those came from. And so I decided, Bobby said, because I'm not, even right now, I have my eyes closed. As I do my show, I have my eyes closed. That's, doesn't matter. I don't know why. I just do. Michael Jordan stuck out his tongue. I closed my eyes. So, bleh. I don't know what to say about that. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. So the first time I tried to do this episode tonight, I was doing video. And because I closed my eyes, I decided I would use a filter. I found a pirate filter. It is awesome. So pirate hat, beard, patch, it looked tight. So I had my glasses on. You couldn't see my headphones under it looked like they didn't appear because they were under the hat. So really all you could see of me was my mouth and eye. I believe it was my left eye. Yeah, my left eye and a little cheekbone. And that was the extent of what you could see with me. So I actually was talking about how Bobby says when I do these videos that I'm not looking at the camera. And I said, I know. And I go, that's how I'm used to doing. I've done 300 of these episodes, over 300, and probably 300 of them were audio only. So it is old dog, new trick, whatever you want to call it. It is difficult for me to open my eyes. And you would be like, okay, even if you're thinking about it. So I was concentrating. The first attempt at this lasted exactly 9 minutes. And when I was doing it, I purposely said, I need to be looking at the camera. I was watching the camera. I put it like right near where I need to look to see if I want to watch. And here was my thing. I was concerned. My concern was that I was going to stare at the camera too much, that I would overcompensate for it. That did not happen. I talked about it. 3 minutes later, I'm not looking at the camera. Last 6 minutes, there's no way I was looking at the camera at all. In fact, I remembered. I was like, hold on. I remembered at that point and said I should probably be looking at the camera. I wasn't. The next attempt after that lasted 1 minute. So 9 minutes and then 1 minute. So I had done 10 minutes of show with nothing to show for it. The 1 minute. So here was the deal. The video got to me the first time. The second time, I evidently, and this is weird, forgot how to speak. Yeah. So hold on. I have a sound for that. Okay. So let's see. So we have Mother's Day in America the day after I'm recording this. Probably by the 6th or 7th time attempt at this show and I get it done, it will already be Mother's Day. So I have my birth mother, Linda. I have my mom, Carlene, real name Hindra. I don't know the whole story of A, why anyone would name their child Hindra, and B, why not lean into it? We will talk about leaning into it later on today's show. Yeah, we will. And this is not going to be a long show, probably. I really lament doing solo shows right now. So much so right now it's difficult with all sorts of things going on as we transition here in the United States out of a school year. There are people graduating. There are people traveling. There are all sorts of things that make scheduling conflicts arise almost daily. And even if you get something scheduled, it's tentative at best. Not always, but in many cases. So dealing with that. So this show, but anyway. So I have the moms in my life. My moms, two moms, Linda, birth mom, Carlene. Say mom. That's who raised me. That's who actually won. They actually, and I don't know the specifics. I don't. From what I understand, because remember, this was 1967 or 68, if you listen to my parents' stories later on in life, when I was nearly 16 years old when they adopted me. Okay, that's not it. So I was always under the belief that I went home wherever I was being held. I know that sounds very hostage-like, and I'm not just saying that it wasn't. Once again, 1967. Things were different then. It was okay that things were different then. Wherever I was being housed. That makes me sound like an alien. So, which I'm not discounting that either, that I was an alien. But originally, for whatever reason, and my only reason that I can even think of is that I was actually told this information. So my reason was that I thought it was 3 weeks is when I came home. But later on, and I mean like 3 years ago later on, the story was I was like 6 months old or 8 years old or 22 and just getting out of college. I don't exactly the story doesn't seem it was very structured, the story, until a few years ago. And then this story of when I was hatched and brought home to the lair or wherever I was raised, it seems to have changed quite a bit over the last few years. Now, the only thing I know is that Linda was my birth mom, and maybe this is the year that I go find my birth dad. Hold on. No. It could have been this one too, because I say I'm going to do it every year. So I know the town that this person resides in or did reside in. And my dream has always been to go to this charming southern town dressed as elf. Remember, Father's Day here in America is in the middle of sometime second Sunday, third Sunday, something like that of June. So typically, I was going to go dressed as Elf, as Will Ferrell from the movie Elf. So typically, if one was to wear tights in the South, they'd get their ass kicked. But if one was to go ahead and decide to wear tights in the South, June in this particular town would not be the choice. I mean, I don't know. I am very, very, I could tie so many things in. I'll try not to. I'm going to try to standpoint. Bidets. That's all I'm going to say. I like, once again, a clean dairy area. The only one I'm talking about is Bobby's. That's the only one that I visit. So, but I want it to be clean. So tights in a southern city here in the United States in a not swampy, but let's say swampy conditions, it wouldn't. I mean, there would be a certain amount of percolate. Like Batman would not be happy there. I mean, anyone that wears a rubber suit, I mean, you got to expect there's going to be a certain amount of sweating and bleh going on. So, once again, bidets, everything is created out of necessity. So I'm assuming that someone was either a superhero like Batman, or they were an elf person, a tight wearing person, and they decided, I don't want any more swamp butt, so let's create a bidet in France. Maybe years before United States was even founded. I don't know. I don't know all the particulars. So happy Mother's Day to you all, mom and mom. Happy Mother's Day to Bobby. And here's the thing. I have said this before. If I did not put a baby in her, and pretty quickly, like when I say quickly, I mean before she starts asking questions. That was vital, that I already had the baby into her. And I know this sounds premeditated and planned. It was not. It wasn't like, but in retrospect, it seems like if this was going to play out, it was best that we found out she was pregnant before she asked questions like, I don't even know what questions like, what was my last name? So I appreciate that. I know. Here's the deal. I feel bad about taking Bobby's youth away from her. And she was 21, so it's not, I mean, she wasn't Wander Franco young. Although I have said that I'm the same age difference from Bobby, that never mind. Anyway. So Bobby being in college and having her whole future ahead of her, I mean, and here's the deal. I didn't read those magazines back in the 70s and 80s about what girls want, what's in their wedding planning book, and all those things like that. I will tell you, probably high on that list was a minimum wage earning plus commission, might I add, have something. So minimum wage, which was probably in the $3.35 range back then. I'm not positive. Somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't think it had been bounced to the mid single digits at that point. It was still low single digits. Anyway, I had the benefit of reaping the green, the teat that we call commission. So I was a commission salesperson working on a base of minimum wage. So on minimum wage, I think back in the day, if I worked a full day, I would make almost $25. Now, that being said, gas was like, I don't know, 75 cents. Maybe not that cheap. None of these numbers. So here's the deal. I recently had John Humphrey, Dana Altieri on, attorney and judge respectively, and I asked, can I use the word guarantee but not actually mean it by the definition in the Webster? Like if you look up guarantee, it probably means that what I say will happen with 100% certainty. What I wanted to know was, can I use the word guarantee implying 100% certainty, but meaning far less certainty, like nearly zero? Not like I know it's zero, but if it were zero, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be like, oh, wow, it's zero. I'd be like, not surprising. That's how I would be. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. So I get Bobby pregnant. So Mother's Day to her. So her appropriate. And here's the deal. I have waited 28 years to start getting dirty texts from her. The closest I get to dirty text is when she's picking up something at Home Depot, generally in the garden shop, which is very infrequently. Okay. So it's not even like I'm getting a lot of innuendo that I can play into this. You want me to pick up some wood chips? I got your wood chips for you. Actually, that'd probably be more like, I don't think here's the deal. If someone is using wood chips in air quotations, not doing videos so we can't see it, wood chips as a attempted arousal or something that is to cast like romantic overtones toward, I don't think you want to meet that person, honestly. Like if you were on a dating website, and I don't know the information they give on these websites, but if you're on a dating website and it said something, the person, whomever, they reference wood chips as being highly erotic for whatever reason, swipe whatever direction you need to swipe, or spam them or block them. I don't know how you mitigate the damage that's already done by seeing them make that comment, but my advice, and it's my best advice. Remember, my best advice, no one else's. My best advice is get away from that person. Because once again, because now if you say, well, I'm kind of into that, or I'd like to explore that, or just even learn more, this is not like a timeshare. Like, you didn't get on a bus in downtown Vegas and get driven out to the desert, which you thought was a timeshare. Halfway through your trip out to the desert, you thought, oh, we're probably going to get murdered. And then it was really a timeshare. And then the person... Bobby and I were on a timeshare visit once, and the person had a complete breakdown. And we don't know if it was, we don't know what it was. My best guess scenario is that it was a real breakdown. Because if that was any sort of ploy to try to get us to change our minds or... So here's the deal with Bobby and I. We are pretty fucking resolute people. You don't get us to change our minds. So when we go to that, we're like, nope. Well, I know you'd say, and they try every tactic. Once again, lean into them. I'm going to talk about leaning into it. Anyhow, anyway. So we got our moms. So I got my two moms, Linda, Hendra, Carlene, if you will, Bobby. Thank you for, here's the deal. I get it. I ruined your youth. I will accept that. But I helped. I almost said gave. I didn't give. Although I will say you made it sound like I gave you Morgan because you did say that Mo was an STD. Not by name, but said when I said how many, whatever. Anyhow, anyway. So I have Linda, I have Hendra, I have Bobby, and then I have Bonnie. And Bonnie is, here's a weird thing. And I'm just realizing this as I'm thinking. See, here's the deal. If I had my eyes open and had to look at a camera, I would not be doing this. So I'm okay. Maybe I should not pretend. I'll just wear glasses. And if people assume that I'm blind and I do not correct them, is that really my bad? I'm going to go ahead and let you know. I'm going to say no. If I just happen to be wearing oversized rim glasses that look like I have a loss of vision because I want to close my eyes and weave my head around as I'm thinking, then I may not correct someone. So I apologize. But yeah, I can't. I don't want. That's how I operate. Sorry. Oh, I could get glasses where it looked like my eyes were open. Maybe that should be a filter. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. So here's the weird thing. Wow. So I'm trying to. I'm trying to rank the moms. So 4 moms, I got to rank them. Jeez. This is. I almost said this is like marry, fuck, kill, and leave one out. Because I keep thinking of Bobby. So Bobby's in there, and I married her, and I want to fuck her, and I do. I don't want to kill her. Although the whole pillow on her face in the middle of the night, she still is curious as to Here's the deal. I believe she's testing me at this point because she'll be like, can you turn the light off? Can you turn the ceiling fan on? And I'll be like, yeah, and the light off at the same time. Like she's checking to see if my arms, because I've said my arms weren't long enough. And I believe she's like eyeballed it. And in her mind, she thinks that my arms are actually long enough to go from the little pull string on the ceiling fan to the light switch. They're not. That's why I put the pillow over her head. That's what I don't know how many times I have to explain this. It seems, if you just picture that in your mind. So, and here's all you have to picture. Me placing a pillow on my wife's head. Okay? So that the light, it's not so that she sees the light, it's so she doesn't see the light. See the difference there? That's the difference. That is the difference right there. Seeing the light versus not seeing the light. I wanted her to not see the light, which, as I say that out loud with the little recording thing going, probably not. Like, that could probably, this is why it's good I'm not doing video, because that would probably be pared down in a short video. And now that I think about it, when it pares it down to like a 1-minute video, so usually I put it in this thing and 5, I mean, it literally makes that sound, which is weird because I had to pay extra for that. But I put the video in, the whole video, and then it gives me like about 1 minute video. I mean, so I do. Here we go. I need 5. It's in a wooga. I don't know why always like the last one's different, and it's not always a wooga. First one's farts. Last one's really different. Sometimes it's one. So they're always different, which is weird, but not. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. Okay, so actually I'm going to change direction. Let's get back. So let's finish the mom. So once again, not a good way to phrase this. So I have Linda. I hope to have Linda on the podcast sometime because I want to talk to her about her side of the story. So I've heard it, and it's amazing. I know I've talked a little bit about it. So that would be going from Pennsylvania to Florida to like just I don't. So there's a story there. And then, like I said, I was brought home somewhere between the ages of infant to toddler, evidently. Let's give it a wide berth. Let's just say that time frame might. Here's the deal. Oh, shoot. See, now I'm thinking about this out loud, and this is why my eyes closed again, blah, blah, yada, yada. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, and this is why this wouldn't be good video. I mean, it kicks out the little, it's kicking them out, and my eyes are shut in all of them. And I don't listen to them. That's what I was going to say earlier. I don't go, it kicks out 5, and it gives me like a title. I don't listen to them. It could be, I don't know why I was going to say fudging. It could have been fucking with me. Which, that would not be surprising and not the worst thing that happened to me today. I had something that's never happened to me in my 56 years. I've seen it happen to other people. Here's the deal. They deserved it. Now, I'm going to say what happened to me, and a lot of you are going to say, well, you definitely deserve it. I get that. I understand that. I'm just going to say I didn't deserve it. I think it was meant for someone else. Quite honestly, I was walking the dog, and it could have been meant for her because, like, so a bird pooped on me. So it hit me right on the shoulder. Once again, Mrs. Boring, a woman that I worked for her and her husband for about 10 years up until I got Bobby pregnant. Once again, everything circles back to Mother's Day. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, Mrs. Boring once told me I had luck of the Irish. I said, I don't know what that means. She says it means that if you're walking through a cow field or a field, you'll 100% step in a cow patty. She goes, but you won't be wearing your best shoes. Basically saying, my life sucks, but it could always be worse. I mean, I wish it could be like, it sucks and it could always be better. That would have been a much better story, theme, something geared towards me. That would have been much better. But no, that's not what we got. Okay, I just need to get through these moms. Nothing I say about moms sounds good. Like getting through them, smothering them with pillows. Nothing that comes out of my mouth sounds good. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. So, happy Mother's Day. I guess thank you, Bobby, for being. Bobby is just an amazing. Our kids are amazing because of Bobby. All of their worst qualities they get from me. That is not even debatable. And I know, like I'm saying that like everyone on the that's listening is like we thought it was debatable. I know. Okay, it's what's called stating the obvious. Sometimes I do that. I state the obvious. So let's just say thank you for them. So thank you for the 4 moms that have so impacted my life. Linda, Henny, because I don't know why. I think, why wouldn't you take a name? I've never before or since heard of Hendra as a name. Like, I don't even know where that came from. Hendra. Like, I can't even think of 2 words. Henrietta and Dracula. I mean, I literally don't know what 2 words you take to make Hendra. Maybe you take more than 2 words. Maybe it's its own set-aside word that I am unfamiliar with, of like Greek or Latin origin. I doubt it, but it could be. I don't know. But I should make up stories. I'm not going to. Hendra. I know why you went by Carlene. I've at least run into a handful of other Carlenes in my lifetime. Yes. So I understand Carlene, while not a household name, probably better than Hendra. I mean, so here's what happens. When you have a name like Hendra, that is immediately going to start whatever interaction you have with a stranger down one path. You don't go, oh, hey, how are you? Great. What's your name? And they're like, oh, my name's Scott. What's your name? Hendra. What? I wish I would have had that finger ready. And I know something Bobby said to me many, many times before. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. So thank you for Linda, Hendy. That's not going to stick. Hendra. Nope. Carlene. Thank you for Linda, Carlene. Thank you for not taking me back. I know you are so sweet to say that you would have never thought to do that. But if you didn't, stupid. I mean, literally. I love our kids to death. And they're our kids. I didn't buy them at some, I don't know, 1967 swap meet down by old Tampa Bay. I mean, I'm not sure that's where you got me, but I'm not sure that's where you got me. Once again, somewhere between the tender young age of 3 weeks and the ripe old age of, I don't know, 22. I just like if I was a Manchurian candidate, it wouldn't be that surprising. I mean, it would be because I don't think I am. Because like activate me already. I mean, I don't know. Like it, like if I am, I'm 56. I don't know what you think unless you're needing me to have really severe arthritis so I can get into some special clinical trial where I may have to take out a doctor that's working on some free medical care or something like that. I just here's I just also seem like, oh, okay, I get it. I was going to say if they were going to use someone, it seems like I would be a great candidate, but I love to talk. So I would be a horrible candidate, come to think of it. I mean, just like god awful horrible. Bobby, thank you for letting me raw dog. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how, I don't know the particulars. So here's the deal. I think what happened is I think Bobby was tied up in some grief with a grandparent that had recently passed, was tied up in the grief. And I, while not taking advantage of that grief, I positioned myself in a way to take advantage of that grief. Now that I'm saying it out loud. No, I didn't. I was there for a shoulder for her to cry on. Now, it was probably a naked shoulder that was connected to the rest of my naked body, but I'm going to say it was a shoulder to cry on. And I'm going to say this. Well, now it seems a little late. I was going to say, and by the way, BT Dubs, oh my God, this sounds horrible. I really need to stop talking. Okay, so this strain may have impacted me a little more than I thought. So and I'm just gonna say it because here's the thing. If I feel like if I think it, I have acknowledged that a thought came into my mind, I at least have to be open enough to share it. I was going to say in this. Once again, I was only speaking of a. I almost said fantasy, and it's not a fantasy. I was almost speaking of a not real in any way, shape, or form situation between Bobby and I, and the first time that, oh my God, this is horrible. This is not where I expected this to go. I'm 33 minutes into this, and I feel like the show just came up and kicked me in my own nuts. And that's not, I should have a different sound, like, not the right sound for being kicked in the nuts either. So anyway, I was going to say, what I was talking about, and this seems like minutes ago, I feel like I should move on, but of course I won't. Because why? Why should I move on? So anyway, I was going to say that when I said Bobby was crying on oh my God. When Bobby was crying on my shoulder, my naked shoulder connected to my naked body, we found out that tears make good lubricant. Dakota is upset that I just told that. She's whining. She is not happy. Dakota is not happy. Anyhow, anyway. Yeah. So, happy Mother's Day. Now I'm crying. It just comes full circle. Oh my gosh. Oh my heck. Okay. And the thing that also sucks right now, I am sweating balls. And I'm going to say this stuff because I really need to change the tone of my solo podcast. And probably everyone. Oh my gosh, the strain. Anyway, it said that I am sometimes vulgar, which I am glad that it gave me the benefit of the doubt that it's only sometimes. So Hold on. Thank you. I'm going to let that go for a second. But the whole sweat and balls thing, I was going to do video. So I have my spotlights on, not doing video. Guess what? Didn't turn the spotlights off. Woo, dogs. And my eyes are sweating right now, too. Anyway. Wow. So there is a 100% chance that I should not release this episode out to the wild, as I would call it. There is also a 100% chance I'm still going to do it. That's why you're listening to it. If you've gotten to this point, if you did not get to this point, hold on. If you were listening to this episode and for whatever reason you did not listen to this whole thing, I'm not going to say you're probably trying to find your phone right now. Okay, moms, can we get past these moms? These 4 moms, my 2 moms, Lindy and Hindi. That would be not a great show. They've met. That's fine. So anyway, Linda, Hindra, Bobby, amazing. Thank you so much. I am sorry that when I say it out loud, it sounds like I stole your youth. But I wasn't stealing your youth. I was giving you a child at a very young age. Once again, doesn't sound good when that comes out of my mouth. She was 22 when the baby was born. So 22. We had a number. Okay. I actually had things to... Here's the deal. For this episode, I had things to talk about. You know what? 0 of them. 0 of the things I wanted to talk about, was going to talk about, wrote down to talk about, had to do with Mother's Day. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, well, Ro, you probably forgot about Mother's Day, which I did not. I was very aware of the date and when it was going to arrive. And I'm also very aware of what a horrible gift buyer, gift giver, gift thing I am. I'm glad that I'm such a gift. I had to add that sound because that wasn't going to cut it. If I didn't add the other sound and I joked that I was a gift and that was a joke, Bobby would try to turn out the light and the ceiling fan on at the same time. She would try to do what she would try to smother me with a pillow. Probably. Anyway, we are now 40 minutes in. New equipment, new challenges. I'm not even going to get into that. No, thank you. It seems like 40 minutes in would be a good time to talk about advertisers. So if I had the choice of advertisers, if I could go to an advertiser and say, hey, would you be a sponsor? And this is irregardless of what... Here's my problem. That because I'm not focused on money. See, Bobby would be like, see, if they gave us money, we could use it to buy anything. I'm like, if they gave us bidets, like top of the line bidets or sex swings. Because honestly, I think those I can just talk about. I mean, organically into every show. I mean, it seems like I'm already doing it. It seems like hardly a show goes by where I'm not talking about either bidets or sex swings. And if there's any way I could combine the two, I probably would not. I didn't finish. I know I paused because I thought that as I'm saying it. So I'm doing the idea. I'm thinking sex swing, bidet, combine the two, but I don't want to be having my sex swing near my bidet area. I mean, I want it near the bidet area so the bidet can be used and then the sex swing can be used. I don't want it like hovering over top. That is not what I'm looking for. So I really think sex swing, bidet company, those would be my top choices. There are other ones. Now, I was listening to some, because you got to know what everyone is doing. So I was listening to some right-wing talk radio. Sorry, conservative talk radio. And I thought it was very interesting, irregardless of the time of day, irregardless of the show, the host that's on. Many of their advertisers seem to be the same. And the note that I wrote, so the advertisers that I hear the most are for gold and silver and then prepper stuff. So that's the most common ones. And so what I wrote next to it is I go, I only wish I could have advertisers like that. Then immediately under that, sex swing bidet. That's really who I want. Like, now, as I'm looking at this, if I could combine a gold or silver sex swing or a gold or silver bidet. So it seems like if I was going to combine, if I just had two options, but I had to pair. So I probably would do prepper with sex swing. Ah, geez, as I'm talking. Because I was going to say prepper was sex swing and then gold or silver bidet. That's probably how a gold or silver bidet sounds awesome. A prepper sex swing. I mean, maybe I should reverse those because a gold or silver sex swing seems, that would be, because like, a prepper sex swing just sounds like it's a sex swing made out of paracord. So, which is literally, I think, what a sex swing is anyway. Or, and then bidets, I mean, to have like a golden toilet or something like that, I don't know why. That wouldn't be special. I mean, when I get fuck awful rich, I sure as shit am going to, and no reason other than to have a gold bidet. Like, I wouldn't even say anything. First of all, if you're coming over to our place, I'm assuming that you know I'm a bidet person. Secondly, once you get there, if you see a bidet and it's like gold or silver plated, that should just be like, I would expect nothing less. Because you shouldn't. And you shouldn't be, if you walk by a sex swing to get to the bidet, that's fine. Be concerned at my house and my decorating choices if, once again, the sex swing is right above the bidet. Okay, so let's see. The last thing I was going to have, I'm going to move through this because I spent so much time on the mamas. The moms. They probably don't like being called mamas. I don't know. Maybe they do. Television. So we were watching a documentary from like 2019 called No One Saw a Thing. It was about the Ken Rex McElroy story, which is kind of the original, the kind of a loosely based Roadhouse. The original Roadhouse was based loosely on this guy, that he kind of terrorized the town. He was shot in the middle of town early in the morning. There were like 60 witnesses, but no one saw a thing. Even to this day, no one saw a thing. And so we were watching that show. So the movie about, documentary about Ken Rex McElroy was talking about how he was a bully, did all these things, shot people, and no one would stand up against him, court of law or anything. So the weird thing is that when you take care of that, so the reason he was able to get away with that is no one would speak up against him. The reason that people were able to get away with shooting him in broad daylight in front of all these witnesses is because no one would speak up against them. So it goes back to my point where on the society once, the question was asked, were you bullied? Excuse me, hold on. So the question was asked in one of our chat rooms about whether you're bullied, because people with high IQ often are introverts, bullied, blah, blah, yada, yada. Not me. But I mentioned that I bullied the bullies. And as soon as I never thought about it, as soon as I typed that, hit send, of course, because not realizing before I hit send. So after I hit send, and then other people point out as well, I realized saying that I was also a bully. Because a bully is just someone that picks on someone else that can't stand up for themselves. That being said, so that's what I would do. I would step in and be like, oh, guess what? So that's what sometimes you become what you're trying to eliminate, get rid of, and you don't see it, you don't understand. So anyway, they said that this instant, and this happened in 1981. I mean, this isn't the 1950s or 60s. This was 1981. So there are people still alive from when this happened. So a lot of people think that, sorry, I had to cough. So if it's discombobulated there for a second. So anyway, a lot of people think that this Kenrex McElroy, this shooting in 1981, which was covered internationally, they think that kind of put a curse on the town. There were a lot of strange deaths that happened after that, suicides, different things of that nature. And then I believe it was the early 2000s, there was a young lady named Bobby Jo Stinnett who she was 8 months pregnant. Someone murdered her, stole her baby, and then passed it off as their own. So we're watching this, and this is near the end of this documentary. I think it's a 6-part documentary. I think it was on Netflix when we watched it at this time. And so they were talking about how they found them. They found this her computer. She raised dogs. There was someone that interested in buying a dog, and ends up someone saw a suspicious car the day of the murder. Ends up being that car. Blah blah yada yada. So they're interviewing one of the town folk of Skidmore. So this all happened in Skidmore, Missouri. So they're interviewing this lady, and I think it was in Skidmore, or it was in, I think it's Melvern, Kansas, which is outside of Ottawa, Kansas, I believe. So southwest of Kansas City, and Skidmore, Missouri is northeast of Kansas City. I don't know. Maybe I am guessing. So I don't know. It's probably 200 miles tops each way. So they're talking about the woman that drove from Kansas to Missouri to kill this woman and steal her baby. This is the type of shows Bobby and I watch. And one of the comments that this lady made was, and that's not a short drive. Like the woman, like she was like, you know, she was going there to murder this woman and then cut a baby out of her womb, but it's not a very short drive. Like that was, like out of everything that was going to happen the day it happened, the drive was going to be the most inconvenience. I personally think there would be other things that would be of higher priority, more pressing perhaps, but what have you. And and I forget who found her. I want to say it was her mom, maybe her mother-in-law, who found the Bobby Jo Stinnett. But and my thought is, so you walk in on this, there was blood evidently everywhere. The baby was cut out of the stomach. So if you knew she was pregnant, whoever found her, like, how do you, like, I don't know if my first jump honestly would have been to. God, I just started thinking about the movies and stuff. Now I know that my parents were right about the movies I watch and stuff. Because I was going to be like, I wouldn't think, oh, walk in and see that horrific scene and go, oh, someone murdered her and cut her baby out. I mean, my first thought, I saw the original Aliens at a theater. I snuck in. I was like 11 years old when that was out. I'm pretty sure it was at Metcalf South Shopping Center, their movie theater, which good thing it's not here anymore because they could probably be liable for my mental state at this point because they were allowing me to sneak in and see movies like that and The World According to Garp. Great Robin Williams movie. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. I just think that I would be like, I mean, I don't know. I've seen Species 2. So I saw Species and Species 2, but I saw Species, the movie also. That's what I meant. So where a girl gets pregnant, but it doesn't matter. I'm just saying those are the type of shows that we've been watching. The other shows that we've been watching. So Bobby and I like the celebrity things. It just, celebrities are more interesting for whatever reason than average folk. That's why I need to be some sort of celebrity so that I'm more interested. I already know that. Never mind. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. So this week we were watching Celebrity Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy Masters. So here's the deal. Jeopardy Masters, not celebrities. Like, even if you, like, mention one of their names and you, like, I've heard that from Jeopardy, still not a celebrity. Like, and if you saw them on the street, the only way you'd know them, oh, that's so-and-so, and they won 162 straight days on Jeopardy, but you wouldn't go talk to. It's not like that. Like, even if they were considered of celebrity, it's not the type of celebrity that would woo someone. It would be like if someone told you, I'm a mascot for a professional sports team. You may be like, oh, okay. Like Casey Wolf. I don't know. I'm assuming there's a human being inside Casey Wolf, the Kansas City Chiefs mascot. But if someone said, oh, I'm Casey Wolf, like let's say they were filling out a job application or they were applying for credit. Let's say they were applying for credit and I needed to know their current or past employer. The dog's sore. That I need, and they said Kansas City Chiefs, and then position said Casey Wolf, I would just be like, I don't think I would ask. I'm not sure there are any questions I would ask. I'm not sure. Pretty sure there are not. Dog, ready to go to bed. This is what I get for doing this so late. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. So we're watching Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. And so there was an answer. And I didn't write the whole answer down. I think it was Travis and Jason Kelce. So these people didn't know who Travis or Jason Kelce were, and they didn't know how to pronounce Kelce, which often if you don't pronounce it correctly, they don't give you, like no one would have got it. Like, because they were like Kels. And then they're like, oh, well, one of them says that's a correct pronunciation, which I think Travis does say that. But they had no idea. And when I say they had no idea, they literally had to fill in every single letter. So they guessed every single correct and incorrect letter, I think, to finally get there. To get to Jason and Travis and Jason Kels. So they gave them credit. And that happened a lot of times. Like on the toss-ups, where if you're not familiar with the Wheel of Fortune, then Bobby's much more of a fan than I am, but it shows so, and then the letters just start appearing, and you buzz in, and you get to yell it at whatever. They would almost get down to the end, like down to like one letter left, like geography with like only the O missing. God, I just don't know. Geography, I-graphy, no, Z-graphy, I don't know. I just can't get it. But they got it. Geography. See, they would have pronounced that wrong and not got it right. But Kels ended up being correct. So, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, not I should have asked Chat GPT or Gemini how to say this. Not the speediest, not the quickest problem solvers in respect, whatever. They did shit. They were fucking awful. I mean, I am awful. I am literal. I thought I was, and Bobby will tell you this, I thought I was one of the worst Wheel of Fortune players. I mean, I am wildly off. Like, I mean, not even close. Like, the first couple times I would guess an answer, they would be like, you would hear this sound in the real air, because that's what the universe would do. It would, and then they would be like, hold on, what? And I totally understand. And then they would just let it go. They'd be like, no, that is incorrect. And they wouldn't have to like spend a second or millisecond. Like, is it correct? Or they would know it's not. No, that is not correct. But after watching this Celebrity Jeopardy, and it hasn't been everyone, but watching this Celebrity Jeopardy, I at least found the group whose asses I would kick. I mean, I would have cleaned the fuck up. And so what? I mean, here's the deal. Almost anyone could have. I mean, I feel like this was almost not. Like, here's the deal. Maybe they tested all celebrities in Hollywood to see if they matched up for good game shows. And then, so their IQs were measured to see whether them being a contestant on Jeopardy was something that they should further investigate. So maybe that's what happened. And these people scored so wildly low that they were like, the only show, like, here's the thing. There's a show like Whammies. It may even be called Whammy. It may be called something without whammies. But there seems to be a lot of people, contestants generally, and the host, contestants, I think, screaming, no whammy. I think that's what they're saying, no whammy, which oddly enough is what I said on our honeymoon. No whammy, no whammy. It was no wham bam, thank you, whammy. Should have kept my finger hovering there. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. Bottom line is, I trounced these people. They were horrible. So they find out. So I don't understand whammy, no whammy. I don't understand that game. And so, like, these people wouldn't be on that. I have I'm a 136 IQ. These people are not. Maybe if you took two of them and put them together, they were a 136 IQ. Anything short of that, none of these three contestants, they were not threatening my position within the high IQ society. I will say that. That also being said, I know that not all the celebrities on there, but so Celebrity Jeopardy, though, they seem to be quite a bit smarter, but Bobby and I had this conversation. We talked about it before. We thought that Celebrity Jeopardy was easier than regular Jeopardy, and I agreed. Then I asked Bobby with this, is regular Wheel of Fortune more difficult than this? And she said yes. So then we turned our attention to Celebrity Masters. Now, this not being, once again, these are nerds, these are geeks, these are whatever you want to call them, not people you're inviting to dinner. Hey-oh. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, these people are, they are, they're the best of the best of the best. Like, of Jeopardy royalty, these are the best. An eclectic best. So here's the deal. So when on regular Jeopardy, I am pretty good. I'm pretty confident. I am pretty confident that I know enough information during the rounds that I could successfully compete for a championship. I don't know, like opera and stuff, I'll sit it out because I'm going to trounce them in other things. One of the benefits I have, I'm up to date on current events. Most very high IQ people, they don't hear about that. Because I walk around in I don't want to say Bobby's world, but Bobby is attuned to that. And so when we talk, we'll talk about all different things. And so things like that will come up. So I feel like I'm more in tune with that. These people not necessarily. Anyway, so on Jeopardy, I feel like I could compete. And even if it's like, if I don't know the answer, I would say at least 75%. I wanted to say 90%, but I don't, because I can't really quantify this. So this is just a guesstimation. So I don't want to guess wildly too high. So let's say out of the answers I don't make, like I don't answer before the answer's given, I would say 75% of those I have at least heard of the answer, the solution, whatever that happens to be. I've at least heard of it. Okay. Probably I'll remember that next time. Very seldom do I'm like, is there something the answer given? And I'm just like, I have no idea. So here we get to Jeopardy Masters. So it was Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy Masters. Every single fucking round. I'm not trying to, once again, live in the world of hyperbole here. I really am not. But I am unaware of any answers that I knew. Even when they gave the answer, I still was like, I have not heard of that. Like, what? It doesn't matter. Like the 10th planet of our solar system. I didn't know we had 10. Like it was like information that seemed that was really privy only to them. And here's what I felt kind of pissed, honestly. And I don't know if that's how some people would feel like when you're around someone of high intellect, but that I felt pissed that I didn't know any of these answers. Because I do. One of the things that Bobby said that she found I think she called it smartness, my knowledge, my Mr. Know-It-All, sexy. So I appreciated that. And so I kind of pride myself on being smarter than the average person by a long shot. And so for me to go through a half an hour show and not know a single answer. I mean, at this point, I'm afraid that if they called me to ask me to be on there, that when they asked me to write my name down at the beginning, I would even get that wrong. Anyhow, anyway. So that is what I have. A lot of other notes. I didn't really think this would make it an hour. I also didn't think I'd talk about moms for a half an hour. And I don't, once again, better timing on my part. This episode probably never sees the light of day. Enjoy my laughter. If you made it to this part, hold on, I got something for you. That's for you. Yeah, let's let it get creepy though. Yeah, get it. Yeah. Okay. So this was a solo episode 30 something. I do have some interviews coming up. Antonio Centeno, hopefully we'll be back on the show soon. I'm really excited about that. If you listen to this episode, there is a high probability that he will not be back on the show. Dang it. I was even on the wrong page for that. So for everyone else, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. You guys know me. My name's Ro. I'm the Stone Genius. Talk to y'all later.